All right, so once again, I'm live. Coming to you live tonight. It's been really interesting. A lot of things going on. If the world turns, as they say. We got a lot of things going on, a lot of psyops. Um, I would say misinformation by the media. hmm And a lot of things going on. Nobody wants to address it. Nobody is asking why. Nobody's addressing why and how and what happened. I thought I posted. All right, so I got to put it back. Hey, what's up, man?
Yo, what's good? What's good?
Uh, hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Shit,
How
just
you
chilling,
doing?
man. Living, you know, trying to help them cover all these. What I'm saying, little events that's going on.
Yeah, a lot of events going on, ain't it, man? Yeah, they were talking about some power outages and things like that. I was like, yeah, I won't. I'm trying to find it, and I thought I played it earlier, but obviously I must didn't have it, so I got to go back and get it. So give me some. What's up, Shaq?
You, salute.
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh man, trying to stay out of the way, man. Keeping my binoculars on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, I mean, they say back-to-back school shootings show the long-term impact of gun violence on Chicago schools. Chicago Board of Education votes to remove police from schools.
They do what now?
Votes to relieve. Um, to remove police from schools.
Police from school. Hmm. Hmm. It's really a shame that you had to have police at schools, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean they need to have a better. But we already know they ain't gonna do it because this shit promotes everything. It promotes, like what's it say? Problem, reaction, solution. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on.
Yeah,
All
Robert.
this technology that we got, right? You mean to tell me y'all can't detect somebody that's got a firearm on them? or it's a potential, you know what I'm saying, a potential so-called school shooter,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
You're right, man.
That was interesting what y'all said earlier. They took the see, and that was kind of a good thing with Judge alluded on too. Look, or you was they do the mass shootings, so they could do a couple of different things, right? You could take these police out of the schools. You see what I'm saying? You could prevention. You could cause your narrative. You see what I'm saying? And at the same time, you can enact gun control. Perfect strategy.
Mm. You said it's perfect strategy, huh?
Oh yeah.
Of course, it's a perfect strategy. That way, we get everything. We cover all the bases. They also said they had a solar flare yesterday, which supposedly caused caused the thing to trying to find this thing, man.
You said a solar flare? What was this?
They said a solar flare happened yesterday.
And what exactly is a solar flare? What?
It's from the sun. I'm gonna play this right quick for you. Let me refresh my page. I found it. I've been looking for it. But I say I gotta find it. All right, now I want y'all to hear this. This is big. Listen closely when I play it. Listen to what CNN says right here.
Check it out, True Seeker. Look what CNN had to reference the day of the cell phone outages, February 22nd, 2024. Again, the date was 68 numerology, like how in Gematria, Barack Obama equals 68, as does CIA. Of course, in 1968, AT&T made 911 the emergency dialing code. Talked a lot about that in the earlier video. But anyhow, notice how they're about to mention the film made by Barack Obama that just came out, Leave the World Behind, about the cyber attack that takes down the nation.
To see how best to reach out to 911. That's why this is so scary and it is so urgent. Stay close, guys, because let's see what happens in the next 3 hours during the show. Really appreciate it.
Look, dystopian movies begin with this.
That's exactly right. I was just watching one.
Leave the World Behind on Netflix.
Such a good show.
Cell phone outage goes. I woke up this morning with SOS on my pink cell phone. Why it's pink is another
The
issue.
mockery, True Seeker.
See? They mentioned it, Leave the World Behind on TV. I mean, they letting you know. I mean, hey, man, you know, hey, you're right. We planned it. What you gonna do about it? And it came out and told you today it was a coding error. If you really believe it, you crazy as hell. What do you think about this, Chak? They gave you the script.
They said it was a coding error.
That's what they say.
Oh, who in? Who was the participants?
You're right.
When in doubt, better ask questions, man.
Now, I want to bring this up because a lot of things went down. I got to cover a lot of topics in a short period of time. So they say this happened. So they didn't tell you about that that slaying at the University of Georgia, or was it in Georgia? It was somebody got killed at school or something today. And they said it wasn't they claim it wasn't a U.S. citizen that did it. Pay attention. But nevertheless, what I'm saying is they just came out and told you that basically this was a script.
Right. Right.
If you didn't think that was it, let's play this. What's this right here? Here it is. Here go another one. I'm just playing it for you. Here you go.
I'm in Tampa with more on that story. Lenny.
Good evening. Yes, we're monitoring the situation at the Air Force Base, and it's unclear if that issue is related to the Change healthcare shortage. But what we are hearing tonight are from many people who are reaching out to Aid on Your Side. They are frustrated after leaving their pharmacy empty-handed, unable to get their empty prescriptions refilled. Tonight, several pharmacies across the country dealing with delays and disappointed customers after healthcare tech company Change Healthcare was hacked.
It's frustrating knowing that I'm going to have to kind of mark my calendar every day to call the pharmacy. Sometimes there's a long wait on the phone to get somebody on the phone to say, is it working yet? Is it working yet? I don't know how many days I'm going to have to do that.
Paige Fagenbaum reaching out to Aid on Your Side after an unsuccessful trip to her pharmacy to pick up her refill prescription, but leaving empty-handed. Her worries starting to settle in.
I did take my final pill this morning. It's something that I take twice a day.
Problems at pharmacies also taking a toll on some people at MacDill Air Force Base today. MacDill posting this alert to social media, reporting problems processing prescription orders for those with TRICARE coverage.
What could someone potentially face or experience?
So if someone has their medical information hacked, again, there could be identity theft related to that, or that information could be utilized against them, shared with people against their will.
Courtney H. Jackson is the CEO and founder of Paragon Cyber Solutions based in Tampa. She says customers should question their providers about how their private information is stored.
And they have a right to ask those types of questions, and they should be receiving notices.
So Courtney went on to say that companies are required to inform their customers if they've been affected by a data breach. As for MacDill Air Force Base, they say they had the ability to process some of the urgent prescription orders, but they had to do so offline. Reporting live in Tampa, Lenny Sue Paul, 8 on Your Side.
I'm in Tampa with more on that story.
What do you think about that?
These people telling you, they're telling us, man. Because they I think to avoid karma, they got to let you know what they're doing or what they've done. You see what I'm saying? They got to do it a certain way. And two, so if you could ever go back and be like, oh, y'all didn't say it, let us know, y'all coerced us, y'all, deceived us. They could be like, nope, this is what we told y'all. This time, everything is timestamped too. If you notice, all this internet, social media sites and all this, everything is timestamped.
Look at this. Soros backed abolition group to train operatives how to eradicate police in prisons. So, where can you pull this up at? Jello report. Pull it up. Jello report. Soros backed abolition school to train operatives how to eradicate police in prisons. It trains activists to eliminate the community research hub and accountability joint force with left-wing group to aid the Philadelphia-based W.E. Du Bois Movement School for Abolition and Reconstruction to prepare and organize against what they say is a capitalist society created from overlying forces of colonial dispossession and genocide, racialized chattel slavery, and violent patriarchal domination. That's the LGBTQ talking right there. Whose extractive brutality or humanity nature is quickly rendering our planet uninhabitable. The school aims to familiarize activists with how to dismantle oppressive institutions they believe extensively contribute to their struggles. So you can pull that up. But that is an abolition group that's by George Soros.
And wasn't that the term abolition? The people that wanted to free the slaves and stuff like that back in the day, wasn't that the same term or no? Abolitionists?
I think so, but I mean, it is what it is.
See,
but I'm
these people.
But
it's all Democrat because guess what? They was Democrats back in that time too.
Well, there's a little problem here. There's only one problem with the slavery thing here, and you know what it is? They are trying to create more of a digital slavery these days where they tied you to everything. Your bank. Well, let's put it away. Just call it digital. Since we're in a digital age, they want to have you in digital slavery. Let's put it like that. Hey, they didn't call it the mark of the beast for no reason, brother. Brought to you by the small heads.
Oh man.
Let me see. Let's see. Okay, so they pull up 3 Wyoming swimmers were killed in a crash in Colorado. Forgot to mention that. And number 3 came out again, Frank. Number three.
Man, there it is.
And by the way, they said there was 74,000 outages.
Man, 47 in reverse.
Right.
Tiffany Henyard believes that she ordered a drive-by shooting at her home. This is going insane. Come on. Now, 4 months ago, I did a story on a very little-known town with a very little-known mayor named Tiffany Henyard. I was essentially the first to cover the story of her madness. And since then, the story has exploded like a bomb.
This is from the mayor of Dalton, Illinois. Her name is Tiffany Henyard. And she got into a bit of a scandal. She's maybe been using some tax dollars for things she shouldn't have. And listen to her explanation of kind of why she did it and how we should all treat her.
An Illinois mayor is getting national attention for the way that she's spending taxpayer dollars. Now, critics say you can't turn your head in the Chicago suburb of Dalton without seeing the name of Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
Well, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the case of Tiffany Henyard? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this.
She like a rapper. She hopping out the whip with security like Drake.
That ain't the one I'm looking for. But that's one of them.
You know what I think about? You know what I think? Oh my, sorry about that. My bad.
Go ahead.
You know what I think about a lot of this, man. Like I said on the show, I don't defend no foolery. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't vote for people just because they look like us, or I don't go with people and ride that color train because they look like. I don't do that. But at the same time, it's just really interesting how all these they're either black politicians or officials or working law enforcement. That's interesting how 3 or 4 of them right now are facing scrutiny. You see what I'm saying? And some of them are facing charges all at the same time. It's just really interesting how that works. I just think that's interesting. But don't get me wrong. From what they accuse of, that shit sounds scandalous. You see what I'm saying? And see, that's messed up because I'm pretty sure Dalton has a good amount of black people, so-called black people in that county.
Hell yeah.
And she doing that to the but that makes sense.
Gestapo tactics, baby, Gestapo.
I'm not gonna do it to no Creed people. I'm not gonna do it to no white European people. I'm gonna do it to my own
she
people.
Was at the White House, Frank, taking pictures with Joe Biden, baby.
And see, you know what? I think, but see, I'm saying if they're plants, then how are they? a lot of this stuff could be psyops though, man. Because the psyop don't necessarily have to mean, you know what I'm saying, that the person, don't necessarily have to mean. That could still mean that the person, maybe like a double eight, like it's just playing a part. And then they get the little ritual, then they get scrutiny or whatever, they get law investigated or something like that, and then that's that. Because none of these people ain't gonna go to jail. None of them, these 3 or 4 females that Fanny, and what's the other one? Well, maybe for the perjury or something. What's the other one? Her, and the other one, there's another one.
Oh, you know
None
what?
of them gonna go to jail.
I'm gonna say something. Come think about it. A lot of times when these people get their 2 and 3 year sentence,
Mm-hmm.
you think they go into like a big prison? They going eating steak and shit, man.
That's what I'm saying. If they're even going, you know what I'm saying? If they're even going, because a lot of this stuff, I'm telling y'all, man, a lot of this stuff don't make no sense. It don't add up. And they trying to make it. So I know these are white officials and white politicians and all that. I know they're crooked. How come none of them are getting scrutinized right now? But that makes sense. I think there's one of them. There was a white one, but she was I guess she was claiming a black gang, or she had a gang affiliation supposedly. But it's just interesting how this plays out. But I'm not, it may not be a psyop. You know what I'm saying? And I honestly think that these people are working for the establishment to do us dirty like that.
Look, man, let me tell you something. You know what the problem is, where?
Hmm?
The problem is the people don't know it, or they really don't care.
But see, if that was a European, then they would be clown racism, though, and white supremacy. See, we got to stop.
No, I don't think they would have been doing that if it was a Republican. They would did it. If a Democrat, they say, well, they wouldn't even talk about it.
That's true.
But let me play this part. Hold on.
Someone seen you go in there, and then 2 hours after your story airs, that police are at both of these establishments.
More controversy in South suburban Dalton. 2 popular bars shut down by police just hours after the owners talked to Fox 32. A village trustee also says it's because they're not financially supporting Dalton's mayor, Tiffany Henyard.
Here's Dean Placco with the latest on the corruption investigation.
Is it coincidence or retaliation? Both of the Dalton bars that were raided and shut down last night, we visited the day before as part of our ongoing investigation into allegations of political corruption in Dalton.
They just rushed in here, put police at the front of the door like they was doing a raid on the drug house or something.
A team of Dalton police officers raided and shut down Pablo's Bar and Cafe and Rinky's Bar and Cafe, both located on Sibley, about a block apart.
Everything going peacefully, nothing going on. It's like 10 police cars came in and they start pushing customers from here. And he said, if you don't leave, we're going to lock you up.
Employees and owners say it's part of an ongoing campaign of harassment by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard that is costing jobs and money. Their business licenses have been stripped by Dalton, but they've continued to operate with a state license.
I have like over 23 employees. They work from the local township. Now, end of the day, all the employees, they're going to lose their job.
It's ridiculous. We all have mouths to feed. We all have kids. They're not giving us no explanation.
On Monday, we visited both Rinky's and Pablo's to ask about allegations their licenses were being held up for political reasons. Then last evening, we broke the story that FBI agents have questioned at least a half dozen people, including business owners, a former Dalton employee, and an elected official as part of an investigation into Mayor Henyard. Less than 2 hours after our story aired, police raided the 2 bars.
Someone seen you go in there, and then 2 hours after your story airs, that police are at both of these establishments.
Dalton trustee Tammy Brown says she believes the raids are meant to send a warning to others not to talk. And she believes there's a reason so many Dalton businesses are having trouble getting their licenses renewed.
I'm sure that they were asked to make a donation, and most likely they didn't make a donation. So you don't get a chance to stay open if you don't pay the Queen's ransom.
Now, tomorrow evening, there will be a special public meeting of the trustees opposed to the mayor, in which they plan to take action on the village's fine.
But look, check this out. Well, see, how come? I mean,
you probably know.
You notice, look, I already noticed a lot of so-called black people in that town. Why? You notice that the owners, they wasn't black. See, that's the problem. That's another thing, man. That's another thing. But see, that makes sense. The 86 Amnesty Act, the Republicans push, basically was bringing these people over back in the 80s. So this has been going on for a while. And you know, a lot of times they give these people grants and loans and stuff like that, low interest or grants you don't have to pay back, but they give people loans at really low interest rates to where, you know what I mean, they really to where they're winning a lot of these foreigners and stuff like that to own businesses in our area. That's sad. I bet you Dalton has a lot of so-called black people in that town, and then these foreigners are owning the businesses. Very interesting. I just don't think people care about
Look
stuff.
at man. Wait a minute, man. You talking about Dalton? Look here. I'm from Richard, Virginia. I told you I ain't very remember what a Hispanic was until I turned 30, to about 15. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole section right across the street, probably about, I go down the street probably about a 5-minute walk. And I would say half of that section, I mean, my cousin had got a shop over there where he just passed.
I hear about that.
But it's still a beautician, and my other cousin got a beautician shop over there. But most of that center over there is Hispanic in that area called Southwood, Sam Susan Apartments. Back in the day, that is mostly Hispanic. Matter of fact, they started complaining about the trash around there. So a lot of apartments around here that I grew up around where we were living at. A lot of them have turned to be mostly Hispanic communities. A couple of trailer park things, and matter of fact, down that street, they got a whole international food mart. It used to be a store called Marshall, but they turned it into an international food mart. So that's
so all these other people get their little food from home. And these people really, I mean, it's just very interesting because if somebody like me and you go to another country, they ain't gonna roll out the red carpet. They ain't gonna do all that. That's the crazy thing about it, man. It's just like we don't see the agenda. We don't see that these people been doing this. Like we were saying, you know what I mean, on the show, they've been doing this for a minute. You know what I'm saying? With those amnesty laws and they used Obama for the what's the name? You know, they used Obama for the you know, the DACA and all that, and excuse me, and then all these people have to do is just say, oh, you know, I'm seeking asylum. That's been out for a while, since like the 80s. So that I just, you know, this is all about design, man. This is about to be a third world country, like we were saying earlier. The cops, you know, you're about to have these migrants be cops. That don't make no sense because there's already a disconnect with the white police and us. So you bring these people, it's really gonna be something, man. It's gonna be worse.
Getting ready for the next psyop right here. Well, this might not be no psyop, but the news media they might drive it up or they might not mess with it. This was at the University of Georgia now. It's in the University of Georgia now, Republican state. They found a nursing student was found dead near the lake. Let me play it for you.
Of interest is now being questioned in the death of a 22-year-old woman.
Lakin Hope Riley, an Augusta University nursing student, found dead on campus on Thursday. Her friend reported her missing after she didn't return from a run. The campus police say she had visible injuries and that foul play is suspected. Officials asking students to travel in groups and avoid the wooded area where Riley's body was found.
A Texas school can legally punish a black student over a hairstyle. That is the ruling from a judge this week. 18-year-old Daryl George was suspended by his school in August because his looks violated the dress code for hair length. He sued, saying the suspension violated the state's Crown Act, which bans discrimination based on someone's hairstyle and texture. The judge says the Crown Act does not protect hair length.
Life on TikTok may be a reality.
Hold up.
Because state
Hold
lawmakers
up. Right there. See, I want it to come down to us. There's always some type of loophole, or there's always some type of, you know what I mean? So what's the point of having the Crown Act? But see, that lets you know that it's dangerous because these judges, you see what I'm saying? A lot of times could just, you know, just go about what their own personal little, you know, feeling about it, and interest on the thing. You see what I'm saying? I think that's crazy, you know, over a damn hairstyle. But see, that lets you know he need to get the hell up out of the school. We need to start homeschooling our kids, man, because wow. But see, if that was a European, that wouldn't have happened, though, because they could have their hair as long as they want. You see what I'm saying? But see, there's ways that these people mess with us, man, and they study us. Just like I said, just like I said, you see what I'm saying earlier. With the whole, with all the stuff I was saying earlier, man, it's just they study us, man, with the whole entertainment thing and the voting. We vote for these people because they're entertainers, and we correlate that with them being celebrities. You see what I'm saying? And entertainers, and that trumps everything with us. It trumps everything, man. I mean, we're not in it for the damn politics, man.
Well, we don't know a lot about politics, obviously.
Anyway, right.
All right. So they were going all back and forth. Let me play this one for you. Better.
Every lunch for the past 2 months, I've been eating Huel instant milk cups, and it's changed the game for me. It's as easy as instant ramen.
Mystery surrounds the slaying of a nursing school student who was out for a morning jog on the campus of the University of Georgia.
Good job, girls!
Laken Riley was an avid runner and dreamed of becoming a nurse. Here she is just 2 months ago on a family vacation in Cancun, celebrating her 22nd birthday.
Happy birthday to you, Laken Riley.
She was filled with pride at the white coat ceremony after she entered nursing school. University of Georgia police say Laken Riley's friend reported her missing after she went for a jog on the campus's intramural fields Thursday morning, but never came home. Police were called at noon. 38 minutes later, investigators found her body in the woods near a lake on campus. They say she had visible injuries. Today, dramatic developments as police moved in on this apartment complex near campus and made an arrest.
University of Georgia police have identified a person of interest who is being questioned. We want to stress that this continues to be an active, ongoing investigation.
Now, these moms tell Inside Edition that AT&T's cell phone outage yesterday may have impacted the search for Laken Riley.
I know that the alerts did not go out. I couldn't even communicate with my own daughter. Could not make phone calls or text messages.
I can't imagine any student not taking their phone with them in an isolated area. If she were trying to call someone and couldn't get through, I hope that the police is looking into that.
The moms are members of UGA Parents for Safety and Security. Lee Spagnolo is a self-defense expert and has tips for anyone who goes out for a jog. If someone has got you, how would you break the grip?
I would stomp a foot, look for a closest foot and stomp it. And then with that other leg, kick upward to the groin.
She says fight with force.
You got to be able to turn around immediately, face that person, and start hitting.
And then go like this.
Yeah, we have palm strikes, heel of the hand strikes. You can't break your hand. Right to the bridge of the nose.
Laken Riley attended Augusta University College of Nursing near the UGA campus. Now, a young woman who only wanted to help humanity as a nurse is gone. A nursing school student.
So that's the next big thing that's the next big thing they about to use on us. What do you think about that, Frank? Chak?
Man, it's crazy because Pioneer, what has to Pioneer? Man, of course they're gonna justify and try to say, oh, the phone thing and stuff was one of the reasons why they couldn't search. It's just, this might be a psyop its damn self, dude. I don't know. I just, a lot of this stuff on the news, man, when I hear it, a lot of this stuff, when something don't fit right and add up, I think 90% of the time it's not legit. See what I'm saying? I got to follow my own what's the name on that one. But if this is all real, it's just like the police have some technology. They could find out who it is, man. They got all types of crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? They got these forensic shows that be coming on TV showing you that they got the technology.
You say they got the show telling you that, huh?
Yeah, CSI and all this. Come on, man. And it's funny because in these shows that there are realer scenarios in that they're showing you in these scripts and these stories. That's what lets you know. Okay, and that's a show. That's a scripted show. So what that tell you about this supposedly real stories that they're giving you? You see what I'm saying? I mean, you can't make a lot of this stuff up. Who's writing these scripts? I don't know, but somebody that's pretty clever. You see what I'm saying? Because the masses ain't worried about that. The masses worry about Atlanta Housewives, man. That's what they worry about. What's the other one? BJ, what's the other one? Love and Hip Hop?
Yep.
They're worried about that. You know what I'm saying? And when somebody does something when a black mayor or somebody like they get in trouble, black woman, it's just because she's a black woman. It ain't because she did some foul stuff. It's just because they're messing with a black woman. We this race stuff, man. I mean, it's racist. We need to point out the racism when it's actually racist, when it's right there in your face, boom, when you're going through it. We need to just stop these broad, vague examples and stuff like that. We need to cut it out. Just because CNN or MSNBC said it was racist, then it's racist. We need to cut that out because we don't. It seems like we don't follow our own mind. Like, you know what I mean? We follow the narrative. You see what I'm saying?
You're right.
Yeah, what the pioneer said, they make out these outrages on purpose just to shake up the public and keep you, man, the state of fear. Don't believe everything you hear, especially when it's a woman. You know, they give you these stories when women and kids and old people, when something like that happens to them, they give you these stories so you can feel extra sympathetic, so you won't even question it. If something happens to some kids, you know, in your first instance to not question it, your first instinct is to feel sympathetic. Oh man, you know that. Oh, that's messed up. You know, it's crazy, man. How these people do us, man. These people, they study us, man. You see what I'm saying?
I see it.
Like we were talking about earlier. The same people, the Bianchi said, the same people, you know what I mean? These NBA players are talking about all this black life racism and stuff like that and police brutality, but these same owners of these damn establishments invest in prison. So how hypocritical is that? See, that's not what the mainstream media is not going to ever tell you about the people investing in these prisons. They'll tell you about Jeffrey Epstein's list, but they're not telling you about the list of politicians that invest in these prisons. Right? You see how the news is in it on it too?
Mm-hmm.
And we still haven't seen nothing with the list, by the way. But what happened to Ghislaine Maxwell? You see, it's just stuff when they want to give to you, right? It's the stories they want to give you to feed your popular to push for popular opinion. That's all it is. Once they get that popular opinion, guess what? You're not gonna think about it to question it. You're gonna automatically know and push the fact that it's supposed to be real because they said it, right? Because that's the narrative, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, you know. You got this stuff with Fonnie and stuff. It's weird how that stuff with Fonnie came out, right? You know, but then when she charged Trump and all that and was trying to prosecute Trump, then this dirt started coming out on her. Then, I mean, after, but before that, how come none of this stuff was coming out about her after? I mean, before. And
now I'm gonna say something.
A lot of his cases,
actually,
one of his cases got dismissed.
She had been out before because they had some stuff with the teachers back in the day when she was going out to teachers. So it's been out before, but I understand what you're saying. It's just that people weren't paying attention to that stuff that happened back then. That's all that was.
It's just too, you know, but I mean, look at who they, you know, and a lot of these stories about these black women, hey, a lot of them probably are true because guess what? They do their own people like that. How could I trust you? How could you a scandalous, low down motherfucker? You doing your people like that? You shouldn't be trusted. Right? And you notice that most of them are serving so-called a lot of black population. These people are in California we talking about, to where it's mostly Hispanic. They're not in places like that. They're in places where it's majority of the people that are like them. That's what makes it even worse. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
These people don't care, you know? And then see, they put these women out, like Judge kind of was saying, and these docile men out in politics. Just like you're in a corporation, management would be women and docile men. You don't want to have an alpha man or a strong man. You see what I'm saying? Because he'll question, and he'll stand on his square. He'll stand on his principle. Once you get a docile dude, he's going to do whatever the establishment wants him to do. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy. Oh no, remember LULAC? Remember that show? Remember our show I did Pioneer a while back? Well, LULAC was a league of union of Latinos or something with whatever that stands for. They said they don't mess. They're not messing. They said we have a similar struggle, but they don't mess with the black man. They said they don't want no interest in our fight or helping us out at all. And that was in the 40s. They said that in the 40s. You know how long ago? In the 40s. So what that tell you? That was when segregation was around. See, but then that was on us because they let me use Martin Luther King as a tool and a vessel to integrate. And guess what? None of these people are grateful. My bad.
No, you good. I'm looking at something.
None of these immigrants are. You notice none of these immigrants are grateful for the Civil Rights Act and the more freedoms that we gave them. None of them are thankful for that shit. You see what I'm saying? But see, look at how the mainstream media views us though, and puts us what kind of light they put us in.
Let me play this. Now I can't find it. Oh, here it is.
Chinese invaders, right? Migrants, as they like to call themselves, who come in. There's a river over there. If you see by the SUVs, there's a river, and they come in on the little water boats. They kind of look like canoes. They're called piraguas. And this one, like I said, it's mostly Chinese migrants coming in. And what's unique about this is we're in Panama, and yet this little grocery store where the migrants can purchase supplies, you'll notice that the signs are all in Chinese. Everything is in Chinese when you get here. And so this sign, from what I've been told, is a welcome sign that says pretty much welcome to my fellow Chinamen. It says Wi-Fi, right? They sell Wi-Fi. And then what's really interesting about this is you can pay in cash for the food here, for the supplies, for the products that are being sold. But what shows that this is tied to the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, is the fact that you have QR codes here that allow you to pay on what's called Alipay. Alipay, which is the payment processor or payment app, kind of like Venmo, right? But for the company Alibaba, which has, of course, been taken over by the CCP. And so, look, they say that migrants have no food, they have no water. What I've noticed through visiting various migrant camps since I arrived in Panama is that, yeah, people may have, torn up clothes. They might be in poverty. They might have open cuts on their skin. But one thing that every single migrant has on their personal body is a smartphone. So it's interesting, right? Because here in the States, we're seeing the border. Not only is our own government's giving cell phones to the illegal aliens once they're processed at the Texas border, but a lot of these people already have their own cell phones, and you have to ask yourself, how are you a refugee? How are you severely, in poverty, or how are you really struggling if you can afford to have a smartphone? And in the other migrant camps like Lajas Blancas, these invaders are taking buses to Costa Rica. They actually have a Western Union as well. And so at what point in time, right, are the companies going to be held accountable for aiding and abetting the invasion of our country? Clearly, the CCP doesn't care. They're not going to be holding anybody accountable because clearly the CCP is involved in this invasion, as others have reported as well. That's why we've seen an intense uptick over the last year in Chinese migrants coming into the United States and also coming through the Darien Gap. Border Patrol in the United States, they just confirmed recently in recent reports that Chinese invaders are now making up for some of the highest numbers of the migrant encounters that Border Patrol is having at the Texas border. And so they have a very organized system. We're in the jungle of Panama right now. We are in the jungle. There's no cell service right now. And even in the jungle, the CCP they have freshly printed. And look, this piece of paper, it's not ripped. Okay, this is not dirty. You can see how white it is. This is clearly new. It's a very humid population, a very humid environment. And so It's a dirt road. You can see here, there's dirt. The papers are not dusty. They're not covered in dirt, which means that somebody is actively trying to maintain the Alipay posters. And here's a name right here. You can see. What's the significance of this?
Well, the way they get paid, there's no cell phone coverage here, but you have Starlink. So you can see on the
Show them, because on the phone you're picking up on the Wi-Fi network right
yeah,
now.
they have Starlink, and so they there we go.
Also, the Chinese migrants are using Starlink. So if you're watching this, Elon Musk, I know that you are outraged all the time about the invasion of America and talking about immigration being a huge threat. Well, these Chinese migrants that are clearly affiliated with the CCP are using Starlink. The sign says we sell Chinese soup. The sign says, welcome, my fellow Chinamen. We have Wi-Fi. And then here are the payments where the Chinese invaders in this Embara village can actually pay with Alipay, just for Alibaba. And of course, that's affiliated with the CCP. Mind you, we're in the middle of the jungle of Panama, and they have brand new posters on the wall here where people can, well, the Chinese migrants can pay for their services, pay for food at this little stop with Alipay. So it's just further evidence that the CCP is facilitating this invasion. Where's the Starlink? And you can see they have Starlink here. That's how they get Wi-Fi. So the CCP affiliated store in the middle of the jungle here in Puerto Lima, where Chinese invaders get off on little piragua boats after coming through the Darien. They can then get off, order some food at a Chinese store in the jungle, and then they can log on to a Starlink. Check this out, Elon Musk. The Chinese invaders in the jungle in Panama are using Starlink. Imagine that.
All right, what do you think about that?
That right. See, man, I'm not surprised, man. I mean, we've been talking about this, man. You know, it's not just Venezuelan people or wherever, Mexicans, wherever coming over here, but you don't hear nothing about no Mexicans. Very interesting. I mean, you would think their country's right there, Mexico. You would think that they would have a little bit more leniency on the Mexicans versus the damn Venezuelan and these Chinese. Anyway, that's another story. But anyway, so it's interesting. You know, we've been talking about this with these Chinese, right? How do you think the fentanyl is getting over here? You don't think they're good? You don't think they them in because they're coming from the border in Mexico? You don't think them and the Mexicans are working something out to bring this fentanyl out here? Which they are. One of them makes it. One of them distributes it, right? And then two, it's like I remember I was interested in who's giving these people the phones? You know what I'm saying? How are they? So I mean, a smartphone. I'm assuming too, even in Mexico, they motherfuckers run $400 to $500 to $1,000. And I mean, we talking about iPhone. I got a bullshit shitty phone. I got, but if we talking about iPhones and these Android pluses and all this, those are expensive.
Well, guess
phones.
what? Good video, Shaq, you sent me. Now let me bring this up because I already told you. It is what time is it? It's election time.
Right.
But I told you the Nation of Islam is coming on Sunday on Safest Day.
Right.
Did I not say Frank Aaron of the Week? We're going to hear from Mr. Jonathan Greenblatt. Didn't I tell you?
Told me. You said it.
He was on the news today. Yeah.
Harvard University is condemning what he calls, quote, flagrantly anti-Semitic cartoon, which was shared on social media by two pro-Palestine student groups and even a faculty group last week. We're not going to show it here, but the drawing depicts a black man and an Arab man with nooses around their necks, which are being held by a hand imprinted with the Star of David on it, with a dollar sign.
What does that have to, whoa. That don't even make
From
sense.
many.
Why would they? Why would they? So, brother, see, this they did that. I was seeing something like this earlier when they were saying that they was talking about what were they talking about in a campus? On that campus, they was talking about they was talking about they was talking about a cop. My bad. They was talking about a cop in San Jose, California. That did he beat a brother or killed him or something? They was blinking that right there, linking. Oh man, he's right. Yeah, he was racist, right? Yeah, this and that. And then he also said black and anti-Semitic. Oh no, they said black and homophobic. Why are we just because somebody don't like us? Why do you got to link the LGBT? You know, see that makes sense though. They do it with the words minority. They do it with the people of color. They do it they always link us with them. You know, y'all notice that? And see that made me look at that like, oh yeah, I had to change it when I seen that. When I heard the LGBT, I had to change it because I'm like, y'all throwing us with in the narrative with them all the time. Now it's getting kind of old to the point where now it's really looking like a psyop. A lot of this stuff. You see what I'm saying? You know, or they either linked us with they'll link some anti-Semitism with us or some something with the LGBT. I noticed that. But see, we don't be pushing back on it, man. He said China's a temp agency for Western corporations, over 1 billion workers ready to work their ass off for Elon Musk. And he said a temp agency. Oh, Pioneer, crazy, man. That's funny. Yeah, and it will never be beefing with no China. Don't ever believe that. Oh man, China's hostility, man. You know, we sit with Taiwan in this war. Dude, them motherfuckers own the gang of shit in America. Why would we be beefing with them? We don't think. See, that's just getting into our emotions.
Look here, man. Them Chinese ain't nothing but a front for that motherfucker you see right there on the damn screen.
And even some of these Jesuits too.
Yeah,
they're all in cahoots, man. The triad, the real triads, right? Those are the real triads right there.
China people ain't worried about, hey, look, why would I mess up my cash cow?
Ooh. That's a good point.
Come on, man. Stop playing with me, man.
Wow.
You believe that nonsense they talking, man? Come on, man. Yeah, man. Can't believe the hype. I thought they told you a long time ago don't believe the hype. You believe in it?
Right. That's a good point.
You believe in the hype? Shaq, what do you think about all this, man?
And they both making money off each other.
They both making money off each other, huh?
We, you know, I think as a kind of something what Jared Muhammad said. When you a kid, you know what I'm saying, and you know you're a child, you know, you got the child ways and stuff like that. But when you're an adult, man, you got to change them child ways, man. You know, we don't, you know. I see why some of these politicians and some of these Europeans be doing us like that because the mentality and the thinking that we be on is just like a child. Like I'm sorry to say, but it just be like really simple type thinking, like simple type. You know what I'm saying? Like it really is, man. Really, really just simple minded. Like these. I mean, how many times? And you know, you got these YouTubers. Oh man, you know this. You know. These black people in this town, you know, they're tired of Biden. We should have been tired of these motherfuckers, man. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Oh man, you know, they're starting to give up and they're starting to, you know, go to the Republican. Dude, it shouldn't even be about going to the Republicans. They're not offering anything either. You know what it should be about? Doing for self. A lot of this politician stuff is a front, just like college. It's a front for you not want to own a business. That's what college is. To keep your ass in debt and to keep your ass working till you fucking 70 years, 60 years old. And working uncomfortably.
Hold on, let me get back to this. I got one more thing to play before I go. I got to bring all this up in one big nutshell.
and even some members of Congress.
Let's bring in right now the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt. Earlier this week, the ADL released its 2023 report on murder and extremism in the United States. Jonathan, I want to focus on colleges right now. It is, we can blame it on TikTok. We can blame it on extreme left-wing presidents. Whatever it is, the hatred for Jews on American college campuses, especially elite college campuses, has skyrocketed, and incidences of anti-Semitism have shot up 900% in the last year. There is so much hate for Jews on college campus. I hear about it every day. Jonathan, when are administrators going to take charge?
Yeah, it's really pretty stunning, Joe. I mean, here today after having spent last night at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. Brown is an Ivy League school, one of the most prestigious universities in the United States. And I was invited to give a talk to bring the whole community together. And I started my talk, and about halfway through, literally, Joe, Mika, half the audience, without provocation, I didn't say anything sort of hostile, literally stood up and walked out. Now, mind you, they had reserved those seats. They had taken those seats from other students who wanted to hear me. It's a kind of heckler's veto where they will try to stop my speech and prevent others from hearing. If they had stuck around, of course, they would have heard me say that we're opposed to anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim hate. They would have heard me say we need a two-state solution. They would have heard me deplore the shooting of a Palestinian American student in Vermont last December. But here's the thing, and it's happened to me at Vanderbilt. It's happened to me at Texas Christian. It's happened to me now at Brown. The level of animus directed against Jewish speakers, the level of hatred directed at people who support the state of Israel is through the roof. I mean, look at these numbers. Imagine if we're another group of people, if it were Black students or LGBTQ students who'd been targeted, and the increase had gone up 900%.
Hell no. No.
I mean, this isn't normal. And as you're showing in this graphic.
We talking about, how come they're not putting a stand to it? Because it's not happening. That's why the administrators ain't putting no damn stand to it, because it ain't happening. If it was really happening.
900%, man. Damn, man, that thing off the Richter scale, ain't it, man?
Dude, these people are some of the most privileged people in the world. You think if there was this type of stuff was really happening, these campuses wouldn't put a stop to it? Come on,
hey, come on, man.
You don't think, man? Talking about, I don't like how he said that. If there was so-called, which there's no such thing as black, but that's another topic. If it was blacks or some more LGBT, no. If it was LGBTQ and y'all, then it's something would be done. See, don't ever say we the most hated group, the most unthought after group. Nothing gets done for us. So how could he even say that? The nerve of him to say that. You know what I'm saying? The nerve of him to say that.
Hey, he's trying to make you feel guilty, man. God damn.
I know. Let him. Shit. Let me stop being, you know what I'm saying, so critical. Let me let us feel guilty real quick of something we had not even America had no business of.
Let him talk. Let him talk.
No.
Let him make you feel guilty.
The 900% increase against Jewish college students is against a broader backdrop where anti-Semitism is not just rising, it's intensifying. And to hear Jewish students tell me that they are changing their names in their Uber profiles because they are afraid of the drivers understanding that they're Jews, or they're hiding their Jewish stars around their neck, or they're taking themselves there. Think about this. In an era where we celebrate diversity, Jews are hiding in the closet. They're retreating into the shadows. That is unacceptable by any standard. It's not just anti-Semitic, it's anti-American to deny and to denigrate people based on their ethnicity or faith.
So, Jonathan, the ADL released its 2023 murder and extremism report earlier this week. Disturbing findings. Briefly walk us through some of them.
Yeah, I mean, so the ADL tracks extremist-related murders, and as we saw in 23, and as we see each and every year for the last 2 decades, the overwhelming number of the 23 murders that were committed were perpetrated by right-wing extremists. And it just reminds us, whether it's right-wing extremists or hardened anti-Zionists from the left. Extremism is a threat to all of us.
Let me say something real
Whether
quick,
it's harassment or violence, none of it should be acceptable. And again, I don't think it's a Jewish issue. You just showed the pictures right on January the 6th. Extremists, wherever they come from, are a threat to democracy, they're a threat to pluralism, and they're a threat to all of us.
And that is how we end the week here on Morning Joe. CEO of the Anti-Defamation League,
Thank you,
Jonathan
guys.
Greenblatt. Thank you.
You know, two decades ago, that was when 9/11 happened. So I'm sorry, that's a damn lie. The Muslims are the one that was getting backlash two decades ago, not y'all. So let's come on, let's cut it out, bro. Let's cut it out. See, people, man, and see, but see, look, he's on the Morning Joe, which is on MSNBC. So guess what? We got to hold them accountable for pushing this narrative too, though. The mainstream media is pushing the narrative, giving this guy a voice. And you talking about Uber drivers, they're hiding from Uber drivers, but they do that in Hollywood.
Man, we just had a Lyft driver the guy was so scared the other day down here in Richmond because somebody shot the daggone, somebody got killed in the backseat of his Lyft. And you worried talking about some daggone Uber driver, they didn't get killed.
And that really happened too. That wasn't no psyop. So that's the thing. The real things that happen, nobody want to talk about that, especially with some brothers. Some brothers. Nah, we won't hear that. But some fake psyop stuff, where it involves either some Europeans or some Cree people, that has to be front page news. We have to push the narrative that these people are getting bullied and bothered.
Man, Frank, the man said it was up 900%, man.
So basically almost 1,000%. Dude, what?
Now, I'm like Miss Latin. You know Miss Latin needs to be on the phone with Chak sometimes.
Yeah, she be spitting that fire.
Now, if it's that daggone much, you wouldn't see one of them around. They wouldn't be talking. They scared to hide in the closet. Why they going to the damn school then?
Why are they going to school? Why are they going in Ubers? Why are they in public? You wouldn't even know that you would. Oh wow, bro! So all of them are wearing the yarmulkes with the curly sideburns. Are all of them doing that? Damn, we don't be thinking, man.
Look, I've been to the Jewish community here in Richmond. That guy daggone was at the place. He said he was. When he playing basketball, he ain't had no daggone kufi on his head. Come on, man.
This is too much, man.
You buying that BS, man.
But see, look, there's a lot of people. The crazy thing about it is a lot of people that look like us that buys that. Oh yeah, that's not right. They always say that's not right. That's the main thing our people say. That's not right. That's messed up.
Hey, look, they say it's not right too. But like he said, the student booed him. They probably did. They didn't want to hear that shit
because they know it's a lie. See,
but he said, "Look,
everybody's gonna go with the lie."
I got a question. Now, wait a minute, I got a question now. But he said something else. He said they would have listened to me. I said, "What about a Palestinian?" I said, "What the video I did? Prove you said it. Real nice you said it."
He didn't want to show the cartoon. They didn't want to show none of that. Why didn't you want to show none of that? No kind of evidence. You know what I'm saying? No kind of evidence.
All right, now this is my last topic tonight before I get out of here. Because I'm gonna bring it, but I gotta bring this to you, because you down in California. Here you go.
Oh, it's not sharing.
My bad. Hold it.
I don't hear a lot of music.
I got you.
Okay. I mean, it's pretty weird. A Chinese immigrant has been sworn in to serve as a San Francisco election commission despite her lack of U.S. citizenship, raising national security concerns as one U.S. senator warns that Chinese President Xi Jinping is playing the long game. Kelly Wong, an immigration rights activist who came in the U.S. in 2019 from Hong Kong for graduate studies, was unanimously appointed by San Francisco's Board of Supervisory to the city's election commission on February 14th. She's believed to be the first non-citizen ever to sit on the commission after California voters approved a measure in 2020 to measure the citizenship requirements, eliminate eliminate the citizenship requirements to sit on San Francisco boards. This is in 2020. That's called double dumb. In her new position, Wong, who cannot legally vote, is one of 7 people who will oversee the implement policy for Department of Elections. She will oversee voter registrations. Oh,
is it like, are you
vote by mail ballots, voting locations, and election observations? This is not a fake story. This is a story written by the oldest newspaper in America, New York Post. Rob, can you please play the clip? Please play the clip.
Brother, you're gonna think this is CCP TV. Look, go.
咁就其實喺2年前我嚟到三藩市嘅時候咧，咁我就認識咗好多原來三藩市有好多嘅權利嘅喎，好多權利係好多非公民移民咧都可以享有嘅，包括咧就算你係公民咧都可以咧去做委員去影響政策嘅。好多時其實我哋華裔啦。
Oh my, like, is this like okay? I read this. I had to read the story twice, and when I saw that with subtitles, Rob made a good point. Why is there? Man, there's Chinese subtitles. She's speaking like if you're understanding it. Anyway, let's just guys, let's really stop and think about what we're doing. She's not an American citizen, okay? She moved here in 2019. She hasn't been here that long, okay? Apparently she can speak English, but why would she? You know what I mean? Why would you when you have no loyalty to this country? And mind you, when people are like,
I say that all the time.
Rules, right? The Federal Election Commission, FEC rules bans foreigners from taking part in the electoral process at local, state, and federal levels. But this is San Francisco. You know what I mean? They're too busy picking up crap off the streets, human crap. But here's the thing. By the way, you know how dangerous this is? I'm shocked. I hope somebody in the Supreme Court, they challenge this, because this is what she said in her LinkedIn. I have devoted my career to championing immigrant rights and equity and inclusion. And guys, equity is a new name for socialism. Some would say communism, where the government controls the economy to ensure everyone has the same outcomes. And diversity and inclusion are used to appoint political leaders and to silence or eliminate those who disagree. And Pat, you know what the biggest thing that popped out to me with this story was? China, okay? Proving, excuse me, once again, that it owns Biden's ass and it can do whatever it wants to our country and get away with it. And here's my list, okay? First, it unleashed COVID in 2020 that killed millions and zero accountability. It flew spy balloons all over the country. Remember last year? Over our nuclear bases, zero consequences. It's bought over 400,000 acres of our land in the United States, farmland, and some next to our military bases. Nobody cares. We let tens of thousands of Chinese immigrants into the country. God knows what they're really here for. We just had the power outage, all the internet, the cells yesterday. Could be a attack, could be a test run. We don't know. And what a coincidence. All this happens, Tom, 3 months after Xi Jinping came with Gavin Newsom. He was kissing his ass. They kicked all the homeless people out. They gave him the red carpet. Now, one of his people, by the way, we don't know who the hell she is. She could be working for the CCP, and now she's going to be in charge of putting people with the election in San Francisco. If this is going to keep going, this is just the test run. She's the first one. Imagine when it starts happening in other places in Cali. Imagine when it starts happening in New York, Chicago.
How many months ago was Xi in San Francisco?
3 months, 3 months.
Can you check to see when Xi was in San Francisco? Do you think
it was right after Gavin Newsom crossed over those,
you don't think he told
Chinese
Gavin, hey,
kids
Gavin,
basketball court.
This is the girl. I want her in. 100%.
You're saying, what are the chances that she has influence over the San Francisco Board of Elections?
Well, Adam, if you think about, bro, let's just really, guys, let's break it down simple.
3 months
She's
ago.
not an American citizen. She can't legally vote. She's going to have influence on American voting.
There's no way that makes sense on any piece of paper. Tom.
Correct. And I'm not going to just restate what you guys say. I'm going to put a perspective on here so people can understand. The voters voted for this to change the laws for people that can be on San Francisco boards. And then Vinny's correctly quoting that the FEC, Federal Election Commission, has laws and statutes governing the federal elections at the federal level. So the voters. Now, how does this happen? Well, before we moved from California, Pat and I lived there when a proposition was put on the ballot. Remember, I think some of the greatest marketers in the world are the people that put propositions on the ballot. Let me explain. There's a proposition that went on the ballot in California that was aimed at basically people 18 to 30 years old, talking about reducing or eliminating tuition for community colleges. And this would be like Pierce College. That was in the middle of the valley. That was very important for people who didn't go to a four-year college to go get some education. Well, they did that. But what it really did was permanently increase the income tax in the state of California. They could never get the proposition through to do that. So what do they call it? They call it the Free College Tuition or College Tuition Relief Act, and they aim it at the young voters. You saw it this week in Washington where we called it the border bill, but it was money for Ukraine. And that's what happened here. The California voters, if they were asked to look back at what they voted for, would be having this collective WTF moment. At least 41% of California voters, because we know they lane, would have a WTF moment because they voted for this and they just didn't know what was in the turkey. When they unstuck the turkey, that's what's in it. So you guys are correct about the laws and everything, but this is how propositions are mislabeled to deceive the voters. It happened on tax, and now it's happened here.
But now, Tom, in the aftermath, as of right now, those same people, as San Franciscans or whatever the heck they call them.
I like that, Siskins.
San Francisco, can't they right now, guys? Adam,
Saint Francisco.
San
was the guy that, you know.
So Adam, so my question is, can't they now? Can't those same citizens? I know that they said yes to it. Can't they right now go yo, time out? No way. Can't they say no, Tom, and be like, no, get this, either take it to the Supreme Court or something? This is unbelievable.
Well, yeah, propositions can be nullified by a subsequent
Well, I
proposition.
think it's a better question to ask in the following way, okay? So if you're listening to this, you may say, what's the big deal, okay? We're a country that welcomes immigrants and et cetera, et cetera. Great, no problem. What if somebody was to say an Asian woman who has been here since 2019, okay, is a non-U.S. citizen, is officially in charge of elections to U.S., not necessarily a city or a state. What if she is officially in charge of what's going to happen with, what was the voting ballot? What's going to happen with all the other mail-in ballots, voting locations, voter registration? Would you be okay with that? That's really what you have to ask yourself. If you say, hell no, then neither should that be accepted in a city as big as San Francisco. Oh my God. So it starts like, you know who loves this? You know who loves this? She is sitting there saying, we're getting in. Look at these clowns. And they're both, him and Putin are sitting there saying, oh, Trump would be a lot easier to deal with than Biden. They're playing with America, and America's falling for his trap. Go ahead.
I have a lot of friends in California, and yeah, I'll tell you, when you vote like this and you don't pay attention to what's on the proposition, that phrase "useful idiots" comes back. And I don't want to be hypercritical or get people throwing rocks at me, but if you're not paying attention to what's in this proposition, you're voting for it, and this is what you get. You get what you vote for.
Well, look, on the surface, this seems like DEI on steroids.
Yeah.
Right. So this isn't someone that's lived here her whole life. This isn't some acre baby situation that their parents brought them over in the 80s and they're one of the dreamers and they're, been here and they went to elementary school here and they grew up here and they're part of the American culture. This person's been here 4 years.
4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, happy 4-year anniversary to you. But there seems to be a common theme here of prioritizing others over Americans. We've seen it in New York. We've seen what's happening at the border. We're seeing this open borders policy. The story that came out, 53 million. I think I said billion last show. So let me correct myself. It's 53 million of what they've
for New York.
For New York migrants,
$10,000 per
$10,000 on a debit card. So I completely understand the frustration with the average American citizen who's like, come on, man. I'm fighting inflation over here. I'm trying to buy a house over here. I'm struggling with college loans. I'm struggling with debt. What the hell is going on here in America? And it seems like we're prioritizing others over Americans. At the same time, I'll say this. It's important that we don't villainize others. At the same time, we can We could look at immigration, legal immigration, and say we all came from other countries. Like you came from Iran.
My mom and dad
You came from New York.
No one's
States,
villainizing.
Right.
No one's
No,
villainizing.
but
yeah, I can.
I'm
I
saying
know
that
No one in the right mind is going to say we're villainizing. When it comes down to election, like imagine if we're competing in a marketplace and all of a sudden I start having the people that calculate your performance on your YouTube channel or performance for BDC or performance for whatever we're doing at Valuetainment. What imagine all of a sudden the person that's able.
All right, man. What do you think about that, man?
What proposition did they vote for? Did we saying that they voted for? What was it in the proposition?
Okay. Basically, when the people voted, they allowed basically non-citizens to be able to vote in elections. Right?
Right. I remember that.
And now you got a non-citizen over top of the board. That woman was speaking in Chinese, man, Mandarin. That woman there okay, probably speak English, man. She head of the California Election Commission.
Goofy.
So who you think she could be who you think will be running this thing? Come on,
Some
man.
Chinese motherfuckers.
Well,
but see, they're smart. You see how they do their people? They put their people, they'll hire their people.
Non-citizens, man.
They put their people in position, they'll hire the people, unlike us. We won't hire our people, we won't put our people in positions when we got something. We just so opposite of it. Damn, that's crazy, man. The whole it's just mad selfishness, man. It's just mad selfishness, and it's stereotypical, you know.
Hey man, it's what it is. But I just telling you that that's going on. I think that's in San Francisco. Matter of fact, where Nancy Pelosi at, San Francisco.
What were you talking about? We were just talking about people not paying attention and being politically lazy and not paying attention. See, you got these dumbass motherfuckers in California voted for some stupid ass shit because most of these motherfuckers is Hispanic and all types of other shit, right?
Let me say something about these elections, though. You know what's going on? It's not so much they winning. A lot of people is actually being apolitical and not coming out, right? But they are back. California got ballot hoppers and a lot of other stuff too. So, I mean, like I told you, the word is probably Larry Elder might have won that, man, because you think about it. You got recalled, but you won 60% of the vote, Newsom. That doesn't make sense. I never heard anybody getting recalled. Because recall means we don't want you. Right?
We don't want you.
So I still don't see how you won if you got recalled. That don't.
That was. Oh, remember we were talking about that when that happened. That shit was a big time, and that's a psyop. See, a lot of this stuff. See that just because you know that's gonna be a mass shooting or some kind of display for it to be a psyop. That is psyop right there. That right there, and it's not even just a psyop, but that right there is just straight up. Well, it is a psyop because they fooled the people. They psychologically messed you up, fucked you. You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, we politically lazy, so we're not checking on that type of stuff anyway. We so politically lazy, we don't even know when we get played politically, and we don't care. We got Love and Hip Hop, we got Housewives of Atlanta, TikTok, YouTube. I mean, we good. You know, we good with being distracted, and now these other people are good with making money and being over us and taking advantage of this motherfucking country because they can. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but that's what I was saying earlier, man. People, we just how do you motherfuckers ain't reading, but see, like he said, they miss word all these bills and legislation.
I just told you earlier, man. They're getting rid of the Chicago police. You know what? Let me play that fun thing before I go, because I was gonna cover it another day, but I'm gonna play it right now, so I ain't got to come back to it till next week. Matter of fact, next week I think I might have the judge on talk about it. Here you go. Let me see if I can find it on YouTube. Yeah, I found it.
If you're a web designer, here are 4 Wix Studio features you gotta know.
A shift for Chicago public schools. Today, the Board of Education approves a plan to remove school resource officers in the schools.
So the policy work will start now over the next 2 months with the goal of having a policy for the board to review and approve by June of this year.
Late today, board members voted on the whole school safety plan they say was years in the making.
We are investing in these schools and they will have the opportunity
decide how to use those funds.
The resolution had been debated today and in previous days. The first public comment today from an Austin man so concerned with the plan to remove SROs and a limited time to speak, the board called for an emergency recess. Dwayne Truss shared more of his comments with journalists during the recess.
Mayor Johnson said that he's going to respect the rights of local school council, and then I guess the left said no, get those officers out of the school. And it's like, what sense does that make?
More than a dozen elected officials also shared their views, both in support and opposition of the plan.
The blood is going to be on your hands if something happens to some kids or some teacher or some crazy parent in a parking lot at dismissal time.
A call to pull police from Chicago Public Schools was heard in 2020 after the death of George Floyd, with youth-led protests about police brutality. Today, a rally before the board meeting. Those who support this new way to keep students and staff safe without SROs and redirecting money to support and programs for students.
It's so important for me to speak up, because if I'm not able to speak up for my youth, they're not going to have the power to speak up. So somebody needs to set the example. So I'm going to set the example for my youth to be able to speak up.
We're told over the next few months, a plan will be developed to help those schools that have armed police officers on their campuses. Currently, 39 Chicago Public Schools have SROs.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC.
Well, that goes to show you that, hey, get ready for more psyops.
Wow.
Get ready for more psyops.
And the brother was he was you know, he was opposing. He wanted, you know, he wanted to do the right thing, keep the cops in. It's like that's just so stupid, man. Like I was saying, these psyops and these, I don't want to say too much on your channel, but these psyops and these you know what I'm saying, these whatever with these mass shootings, right? That is why they're doing a lot of this stuff. There's a couple different, you know, reasons to do it. You're gonna get 3-4 different outcomes of doing it. You're gonna you know what I'm saying? You're gonna push the police for, you're gonna push the gun reform. For 2, you see what I'm saying? You're gonna take the damn police out the damn schools. For 3, you're gonna make it give it the atmosphere to where you could have more so-called mass shootings at these schools. Because guess what? There ain't no police or nobody else to disarm them, supposedly, so-called, right? You see how they the mind, the mind is so, you know, powerful, and we can levitate and do all this shit. Yeah. So when you trick the mind, and when you take over somebody's mind, right, and you psychologically got somebody's mind, guess what? How much more powerful is that? We just don't. We're just like, I just see why, you know, we be on that bullshit, man. You know, we let this shit distract us. We let this bullshit mean shit to us. We let this bullshit be important, like these shows and this reality TV, and you know, we let these people tell us that tell our women that they don't need a man and to be independent. It's just crazy. It really is. You know what I'm saying? We let this, they push all this weird stuff on our kids. You know, they're talking about, you know, taking so-called Black history, even though, and stuff that, you know, it kind of make it to where you can't even a lot of that stuff is fabricated.
Man, look at man, ain't no Black history. LGBTQ, bro.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But they make it to where
they need to shut that shit up. It's LGBTQ history month.
Ooh.
They get 2 months. They get this month and they get next month.
Yep. That's crazy. And they're gonna actually talk about, and you notice they're gonna actually talk about them in that month. They ain't mention, you notice they don't mention nothing about us this month. Nobody talking about, but they prosecuting, they got Fanny on trial, and they got this you know what I'm saying, and all these.
Man, they talked about Taylor Swift more than you this month.
Ooh.
Hey man.
Damn.
Shoot. The number 47 came up more times than you did.
Damn. The number 13. Shit. The number 3. Shoot. You notice all these little incidences is always 3 officers, 3 this, 3 suspects. It's like, damn, man. We don't get it.
They're getting good with the psyops, right?
They're getting pretty, you know, back to back with it, baby. You know what I'm saying? Remind me of a basketball or some kind of sports game, back to back, baby, back to back action in this motherfucker, man.
Well,
it's crazy, man.
That being said, I gotta run, but I do want you to shout out information. I don't know where Shaq is. Shaq, are you around? He fall asleep. I don't know. But go ahead, shout out to Mason.
Word, man. BJ, word, man. You know what I mean? It's a good topic. We got to get on these damn people, the establishment, you know, just like this AT&T and all this cell phone thing, man. This, you know, there's going to be more of this to come. They're dividing us as as we speak, and then they dividing us to where they may letting these damn migrants be the police. So there you go. You know,
you saw who was on that city council board in the pictures.
Right.
You need to know, but go ahead.
So, you know, we really got to just stay vigilant and stay on these people, man. And just like, and we got to stop, you know, when it comes down to Trump or Biden and all that, we got to really just put our trust and our faith in ourselves, man. And like, if we talk about this dollar bill is so almighty and stuff like that, then we got to use it to benefit us. You know what I mean? We love money so much, but we don't use it to benefit us, which really doesn't make no sense. But I guess benefiting us is buying Gucci and buying Jordans and buying chains and, you know, but it's funny because the motherfuckers that actually have millions of dollars don't dress like that. The motherfuckers that got money make it seem like they don't got money. And the motherfuckers that don't got money make it seem like they do. Interesting. So, but that being said, man, so y'all can hit me up on you know, on YouTube, man, XX Frank Nitty XX, man. They you know, YouTube, you know, did me dirty on my channel, but it's all good. I'm back up and running. Y'all can hit me up on XX Frank Nitty XX, same name and title on Instagram, and then also Frank Jones 8115. I got 2 Instagram accounts. So yeah, y'all stay tapped in with me, man. If y'all not subscribe to the channel. Share this out. Share it out to your social media, man. Like it and all that. All right.
All right. Well, look. Yeah, let's say thank you coming on. I'm gonna get on with. I'm gonna, you know, probably come on again next week. Got Sean James coming on, Mad Judge coming on. So I'll let you know what's going on. I keep you posted, and I give you a holler.
All right, for sure. Peace, man.
All right, take your time.